Sam Ruthe is only 16 years old, and he just tried to run stride for stride with Cole Hocker. At the sound running invite, he did not sit back. He attacked the pace. For 1,200 meters, he looked like he belonged with the world's best. But when the final lap came, one question remained. Did he push too far, or did he just announce himself to the world? On paper, it looked like a mismatch. A 16-year-old from New Zealand stepping onto the track against Olympic-level talent. Bright lights, a fast field, and no room for hesitation. But when the gun fired at the sound running invite, Sam Ruthe did not line up to survive. He lined up to test himself against one of the fastest men in the world, Cole Hocker, and for 1,200 meters, he ran with him. This was not a cautious teenage appearance tucked safely inside the pack. Ruthe made a decision before the race even unfolded. He would not sit back and hope for a respectable time. He would not watch the leaders drift away and tell himself that he was still learning. Instead, he chose to feel real championship speed from the front. That choice alone separated this race from every other junior performance on the calendar. The early pace was aggressive immediately. The field settled quickly, but at the front the tempo was already demanding. Ruthe positioned himself boldly, staying close to Hocker as the laps began to click by. His stride looked smooth and controlled, shoulders relaxed, cadence sharp. Yet the clock told the true story. The splits were hot, faster than most 16-year-olds ever experience in competition. There was no easing into the race. It was deep water from the start. Through the first lap, Ruthe looked composed. He was not straining, he was not fighting to hold contact. He was racing. That visual mattered. It signaled that he believed he belonged at that speed. As the race stretched into the second lap, the intensity did not drop. If anything, it sharpened. This is often where young runners begin to question their decision. The oxygen debt builds. The legs begin to send warnings. The mind searches for relief. Ruthe did not back off. By 800 meters, the pace had already begun to hurt the field. Some athletes slipped slightly off the rhythm, but Ruthe stayed attached near the front, stride for stride with Hocker. The commentators began to highlight his age. 16. That number carried weight with every split that flashed on the screen. He was not just participating, he was competing. At 1,000 meters, the race tightened. The true contenders prepared to shift gears. This is where experience often shows itself, where seasoned professionals sense the moment to apply pressure. Ruthe held his line. He trusted his preparation. He trusted the decision he made at the gun. For 3 laps, he lived inside world-class pace and refused to blink. Then came the critical stretch past 1,200 meters. For most of the race, he had managed the storm. But middle-distance racing has a way of revealing exact limits. The effort became visible. His form remained determined, but the elastic snap in his stride softened. The gap opened gradually. Inches turned into feet. Hocker began to surge. Ruthe tried to respond. The will was there. The body, however, had already given so much. The final 300 meters of a 1,500-meter race can feel endless, especially when you have dared to race at the front. The lactic acid arrives without mercy. The legs grow heavy. The speed that once felt electric now feels distant. Ruthe fought forward, refusing to collapse, refusing to surrender the line. When he crossed the finish, the clock read 3:52.46. On a results sheet, that number might simply appear as another time in a fast heat, but context transforms it entirely. Running 3:52 at 16 years old is rare territory. Doing it while committing to the front of an elite field elevates it further. It was not just about the time, it was about how he chose to run it. Track and field often teaches young athletes to be patient, to sit back and close hard. There is logic in that approach. It protects confidence, it minimizes risk. But growth sometimes demands risk. Ruthe chose to experience the true edge of his ability rather than wonder what might have happened. He chose to risk fading in pursuit of something bigger. That decision resonated across the track community. When clips of the race began circulating online, fans did not focus on the final meters where he lost contact. They focused on the first 1,200 meters where a teenager refused to be intimidated. Coaches shared the race as an example of courage. Fellow runners recognized the boldness required to commit to that pace. There is a significant physical difference between a 16-year-old and fully developed professionals. Years of strength training, racing experience, and tactical knowledge separate them. Yet for most of this race, That gap was invisible. Ruthe's mechanics held under elite speed. His composure under pressure did not waver. He did not look overwhelmed. He looked ambitious. That ambition cannot be taught in a single season. It grows through preparation and belief. It grows from hard sessions on quiet tracks far from the spotlight. It grows from learning how to suffer in training so that race pain feels familiar. When Ruthe stepped onto that starting line, he carried that unseen work with him. New Zealand has a proud middle-distance tradition. Every generation waits for the next athlete willing to push the limits early. This performance suggested that Ruthe may be ready to carry that role, not because he won, but because he raced without fear. Some will argue that a more conservative strategy could have produced an even faster time. Perhaps sitting back and closing evenly might have reduced the fade. That may be true, but that was not the lesson this race offered. The lesson was about exposure to championship pace. It was about feeling what it takes to run with the best in the world. There is a difference between studying splits on paper and living them in real time. Running alongside Cole Hocker allows a young athlete to sense how smoothly elite speed is sustained. It reveals when moves are prepared and how subtle shifts create separation. Those lessons are learned only through experience. By choosing to lead rather than hide, Ruthe accelerated his development. The final 300 meters will become a focus in training. Strength, endurance, and timing can all improve. The gap he experienced is not mysterious. It is measurable. It is something that can be chased. More importantly, the belief that he can survive that pace for most of the distance is now real. He has felt it. He has proven it to himself. That confidence will carry forward into future races. The next time he hears a fast opening split, it will not shock him. The next time a world-class runner moves beside him, it will not feel unfamiliar. He now understands the rhythm of that speed, the breathing pattern it demands, and the mental calm required to stay committed when the body begins to question everything. That kind of experience cannot be simulated in training. It must be earned in competition. For fans, this moment captured something universal: the courage to step forward before you feel fully ready, the willingness to risk failure in public pursuit of growth. Sport at its core is about confronting limits. On this night, Sam Ruthe confronted his. He did not wait for the perfect season or the perfect field. He stepped into the fire early, knowing that even if he faded, the lesson would be worth it. He did not win. He did not crumble either. He ran 3 minutes 52.46 seconds against elite competition at 16 years old and showed that fear was not part of his mindset. In a sport defined by margins and measured in seconds, that mindset may be the most valuable quality of all. Results fluctuate. Fitness rises and falls. But courage travels with an athlete from race to race. The stopwatch recorded the time. The community saw the bravery. And as the season continues, one thing is clear: Sam Ruthe is no longer just a promising teenager. He is a young athlete who has already proven he is willing to chase the very best, no matter the cost.